The United States is the largest corn producer globally. In 2023, American farmers grew 15.3 billion bushels of corn, planting on about 90 million acres. Corn generally needs about 22 to 30 inches of water per year, depending on factors like planting date, location, and weather.
If you laid out all of those bushels of corn flat, just one layer of them on the ground, how large would that area be?
If you laid out 15.3 billion bushels of corn flat in a single layer, it would cover an area roughly equivalent to the state of Delaware.
Okay. So America grows a lot of corn. What is all that corn used for?
Most of the corn grown in America is used for livestock feed and to produce fuel ethanol. It's also processed into many food and industrial products like starch, sweeteners, corn oil, and beverages.
So basically like Doritos and stuff. So, but what percentage of that corn is actually like eaten as corn or processed into something that is edible?
Only about 1% of the corn grown in the U.S. is eaten directly, like sweet corn on the cob. However, approximately 8% of corn is processed into food and industrial goods, which includes items like corn oil, cornstarch, and corn syrup that are used in many edible products, such as Doritos.
Okay, so we grow enough corn to lay out all the bushels and cover Delaware. We eat less than 10% of it, and that includes all the Doritos sitting on the shelves and stocked in, everyone's Fallout bunkers. And the other 90% of that corn is 60% of it goes into livestock, and the remaining 30% is biofuels. So, I've been thinking about growing sugar cane and sugar beets. Corn is a good choice for big fields because, you don't really, it's very hardy. You don't have to pay attention to corn, and it'll just thrive on its own. And you can eat it, and it's easy to process using there are a lot of reasons we use corn. But sugar beets and yams and sweet potatoes and sugar cane can also be used to produce ethanol. Not only that, but sugar beets have an immense taproot that is really powerful. So it's great for tying up multiple parts, as in like it'll spike downwards through multiple bricks or blocks or pieces, and it can and then spike into the ground and supply the structure with water and nutrients in that way. And sugar cane goes in the opposite direction, can spike up through multiple bricks because it's this cane stalk that's designed to do that in sort of marshy, So I am going to keep ethanol in mind, and I'm going to keep agricultural feedstock in mind, and I'm going to keep... the goal is to design products and methodology and training and create infrastructure for production of basically replacements for current industries like agriculture. Right now, we import all of those plants. Most of those plants that we need in a city we ship them in from the country. I don't mean import like from another country, obviously. I mean, that is frequently the case because once you're importing a thing, you don't have local production means. It doesn't really matter how far it came, as long as, it's the product you want and you can afford it, right? So frequently it's coming from really, really, really far away. And if we can, the only reason the United States is still using corn for biofuels and not any of the other plants that I've just mentioned, and the only reason they're growing that much corn is because it's still making money. It's still working. And if instead, okay, so what's going to happen basically when I hand them, or when we hand them, a better, more efficient, more cost-effective local method of doing this that checks all of the boxes, the price of corn is going to tank. It's going to become worthless, and the landowners will then, it'll become more economical to think about pivoting in terms of the purpose of their land. Like what I grow corn, right? Well, not anymore, right? Now maybe I'm going to let some new pastoral sort of like someone raising cows using drones or buffalo with enormous herds and killing some of them with like military drones, or maybe opium farms where you raise goats that become addicted to the opium, and then that becomes the territory of a poached tiger, and one that came from the wild, who we liberated from their captors, gave dental work because they probably tore out the fangs, got them off fentanyl if they were hooked on it or whatever, put them back on meat instead of kibble, and released upon these opium-addicted goats, and then we get the domestic tigers and bring those in, and they learn from the poached tiger. Meanwhile, we are working in their native country to create more habitat, and I don't know, maybe we're working with tigers to smooth the reintroduction process, and the goal is to get all the tigers back where they belong. They're in Texas. Why do we have so many tigers in the U.S.? This is bad. I would buy that land for that. I can think of a million better ways to use that land than, for growing corn. And so can everyone else. And, the offers will start flooding in. And these people who grow corn right now are going to take them because, growing corn will simply become unprofitable. We don't get rid of the corn at all. Maybe we, or at least we use the corn that's there, in really interesting ways. I can think of some amazing ways to use these fields of corn that are going to become worthless. So I guess my plan is to, okay. Step 1, design a system of producing all the food for people, for livestock, and for creating biofuels locally, more efficiently, more effectively, higher yield, faster, more reliably, and again, locally, as in This is a thing that you use where you live or where you need the product, or closer, as close as you can manage. So step one is giving society on a silver platter what they need to produce everything that they need. Step two is it happens when step one has been done so effectively that the economy changes. Suddenly, no one wants to import these billions of bushels of corn. Nobody wants them anymore. And so the people growing the corn cut their losses, and they stop growing corn. Or that corn starts to be used for something else. And when corn becomes worthless, it'll take a little while, and there will be some really stupid holdouts. So we'll have this window of time where there are these big fields of corn, but they're dirt cheap, and so we can show up and weave them into the skeleton of our garden creature becomes corn.